Are you resisting change in your business? Well, join me right now because we need to talk about this. All right, you guys. So there's nothing more damaging to a company than when its own employees resist change. And the problem with that is that people, people tend to fight it. And sometimes they're fighting it for, silly reasons, political reasons, or just because they want to dig in their heels. But a lot of times people resist change because of fear. And so large corporations spend massive amounts of money helping their workforce adapt to change. And so what I mean by that is if you look at any company, as they, longevity is the key, right? And as they go along year after year, they're going to have to make changes. Like, for example, they might have a particular software that they use for 10 years or something. Let's say just something simple. Let's go to like just a business. Let's say a company is using Quicken, right? Or QuickBooks, right? They're using QuickBooks. And then all of a sudden, after 10 years of using this thing, the company decides they're going to use a different software. Now everybody has to adjust to this new software. There's a conversion, all this stuff. So what happens is they get all their people involved and they get this conversion thing happening, right? So they're going to convert all their data from QuickBooks over to this new system that they're using. Maybe it's a custom system. Maybe it's just something, something else that's cheaper for them or whatever. So they get all these people, they spend all this money and time converting over all of this data. And then the people that need to actually use that particular software, they fight it. They fight it the whole entire way, right? They're mad, they're upset about it, they're complaining all the time, they're resisting the change. And so you can see how when um, they spent already the resources to get all this data moved over from this old software to the new software, and yet they're not spending money on helping these people transition from the old to the new. So how do they do that, right? And as the CEO of your business, you're going to have to do that. Now, when I was in IT, I I was in IT when we were getting project management. At first we didn't have any really, and then we were bringing project management into our world. But um, a lot of times, my team or my particular company that I worked for didn't have a project management office. So we didn't have somebody to help us manage that. And me, as the application development manager, I had to manage all of my own projects, which means I was gathering requirements. I was managing the testing of everything, managing the development, and then managing organizational change management. And so the way I did that was to lead, right? To lead the team and to be completely transparent in the process of moving, from one thing to another. So as we built our new software, I was, showing them the software, every little piece of the software, every little um, feature, every single thing. I was constantly demonstrating the software to the user group that we were working with, and then helping them advocate for this and get excited about it. I was the cheerleader for our project so that the the user group who was going to be using the software would embrace it instead of, fight it and repel it, right? And rebel against it. And so that's what you need to do as the CEO of your business. You need to lead. And right now, if you're just a solopreneur, you need to lead yourself, right? You need to lead yourself through this transition. And so with the how AI is taking the world by storm by now. I've talked to a few entrepreneurs who have completely poo-pooed it, like, oh no, I'm not going to use AI. Oh, no way. Not using that in my business. Well, I got to tell you that if you don't learn and adapt and use AI in your business, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on huge efficiencies, especially as a solopreneur. AI can act almost as your assistant. I mean, it's amazing. I use it daily and I use it for things you wouldn't even think of using it for. Like, I'm not just using it to write a blog post or although I've experimented with that, I have. I'm not using it to just create my content so I don't have to. It's not being lazy. I'm using it as an assistant. And it's super exciting because it's amazingly smart and it's amazingly conversational. If you haven't used Chat GPT or Ask AI, you can use it on your phone. That's one of the things I really love. I was in my workbook, you'll find a little exercise in there where you can test out different things. Like you can test out like having it write a brief in comparison to having it write an article on a particular topic. So you can do your own research and then have it write, these different things, a brief or an article or, um, a sales page or whatever. You can have it write all these different things and see the difference in how it actually chooses its words, uses language and the structure and everything of what it's building for you. And so I find it really fascinating, and I find it as a great, kinda, writer's block get me out of writer's block tool, right? It is great for that. I also find it as a great way to quickly research different ideas that I'm having. So before I go in and do a bunch of research on Google, and I highly recommend that you always do your research. Do your own manual research because you wanna make sure that when you're validating and you already know what you're looking for, right? You've done your research, you have a few resources, you've already maybe written some main points that you want to make if you're writing something. And now you're going to have, AI sort of help you flesh things out. And it's, it helps you because you can take different angles when you actually do prompts. That's why you're seeing people out there who are selling the prompts, right? They're selling these prompts that are going to help you get the right answers so that you can utilize and leverage this tool. That's why I'm saying that it's time to get on board now. It's not, you don't want to wait. You want to do it now. You want to get on board and you want to start using it now because there is so much to learn in terms of the possibilities. So you want to start getting used to it for doing simple things, right? Just simple things like write an article, write a brief, help me with some, blog post ideas or, you know, different types of things that you can do, just brainstorming, that kind of thing. And then you can go and do your own research. You can go and do your own thing and then come up with your own secret sauce. Now, in my workbook, I talk about that secret sauce. So you want to grab that workbook, you can get it at thescrumshop.com/AI for the AI tool and grab that workbook because I have some secret sauce in there that you'll like and that I think that will help you understand how you can leverage this tool now, even if you're just using the free in the baby steps and you're not using it all for customer service and chatting with clients and all those things. That can be down the road, but just getting going on it and getting started by trying it yourself, trying it for different things that you do, using it as an assistant for you to help you do some research, gather some information, right? And now I also want to point out though that many of these AI tools, the data that it has in there is, about 2 years old. So you always want to make sure you're doing your own research so you can get the latest, greatest of anything that you're talking about. And then reserve your secret sauce. Because I had a client say, 90% of what I wrote, because I had it write me a blog post about something I already wrote, 90% of it um, was in there and only 10% of it was my own unique thing. So I feel like I'm going to be made obsolete. Well, that's going to be true if you aren't doing your homework and you're not using AI. If you're using AI, you can then compare your own version compared to what AI is building, and then you can add your secret sauce to it. Add your secret sauce to it. So, yeah, common knowledge, right? And here's the thing with AI that I love. See, so AI is based on technology, and technology has become open source for a long time. We've had a lot of code that's open source. People are people are hi Regis. People are like what would happen is they'd create this base code, right? And then they would create what's called an API. And that's what AI did. They wrote all this code and then they created an API and now everybody can use it. So once it was released, about 10,000 different AI businesses popped up overnight. I mean overnight, right? Because they can all leverage and use this same code that AI is using. Okay, so remember that when you're looking at all these different softwares, you're looking at, Chat GPT versus Ask AI versus Jasper versus there's one called Steve that makes videos. There's one called Reels that makes videos, and but remember that they're all really using that same API, which is code. It's like a library of code that they can use, so they don't have to rewrite that code, right? So what this does is it's similar to in mathematics, we had I have a degree in math, so I like to compare things to math. So, um, in math, like think about geometry. When you learn geometry in high school, remember they have postulates and theorems, right? They have all these things that are like we take these as fact, right? You don't have to reprove them. We take these as fact. That is basically what they're doing with AI and with these APIs is they're saying, we already wrote the code to do this functionality. You don't need to rewrite it. Just use ours and then build on it. Go even farther. Take it to the next level. That is the beauty of this. And so when you look at AI and what it's doing is um, it's actually giving you almost like well, this is pretty much common knowledge, right? So when it writes an article for you, it's basically looking at what's common knowledge out there. If you say, I want to write an article on how to prevent procrastination, it basically gives you this common knowledge stuff. But then you may have a different angle, like I had in my procrastination workbook, which you can get on my website. I had a little bit different angle on that because I'm coming from a different approach, right? I'm coming from a project management approach, not just a standard, thing. And I'm also coming from some experience where some of the common things that they said, like set a deadline, give yourself breaks, create a schedule, those kinds of things don't always work for some people, especially some squirrels like me. And that was a big complaint because, I'm a squirrel, so I attract other squirrels in my world. And so those squirrels, I like to say, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they might be neurodivergent or have a learning disability, ADHD, or just simply have a lot on their plate, right? And so doing those kinds of things doesn't necessarily work for them. And so I'm coming from a different point of view of like, okay, look at it from a project management perspective and how you can be the manager of your business and stop, you know, beating yourself up and doing all these crazy things that we do to just you know, to I don't know, that hurt our self-esteem and make things worse for us, right? So that's what AI is doing is it's kind of looking at everything and saying, okay, what does everybody already know? And now we're going to take it to that next level. So this is where you come in, right? Is you get to take it to the next level now because, okay, everybody knows that it's common knowledge. What's your secret sauce? What can you add to it? How can you take this knowledge and go one step further? So think about that when you're doing that. But anyway, I kind of digress. But that's why I wanted to talk to you about organizational change management because as the CEO of your own business, it's going to be up to you to help your staff, even if it's just a staff of one, you adapt to change and adapt to the technology. We as online entrepreneurs are reliant on all the technology out there. And if we don't embrace it, we're going to be like, the Karens of the world, right? Or the dinosaur. We called it a dinosaur in the IT world. And if you think about that, like if you've ever walked into a business that's 30 years old or something like that, and you walk in and the environment and the place is exactly the same as it was 30 years ago. And you're like, God, are they ever going to update? Are they ever going to get with the times? Right? That's the kind of thing that you want to avoid. And that's why big companies spend millions of dollars on change management. They actually hire people that are project managers, and their only role is to do organizational change management. And so that they actually do like almost like a whole entire marketing campaign for the particular changes that are coming. And then they coordinate training, they coordinate education, they control or coordinate all the output, they create all the campaign and the marketing and everything to market these changes that are coming. That's organizational change management. Now, you aren't going to have to go that far and crazy with your small business, especially if you work alone. But if you put up mental blocks and you poo poo and you're, oh no, I'm not going to use that thing, you really truly are going to miss out and be left behind because AI is here to stay. AI is here to stay. It is not going anywhere, and it's creating a baseline of information that we already know, right? Like it's our like we already know this information. So now you've got to be able to do that and go and ask it so that you can take it to the next level. You can take that knowledge the AI gives you and instead of just writing another blog post that's the same old, or maybe you write the same old blog post and then you keep the secret sauce for your lead magnet. Right. And so that's it's up to you now to take it to the next level, just like a mathematician would say, okay, I already know this theorem and this postulate. I don't have to prove that this shape is a triangle anymore. It's proven. I don't have to prove that this is a right triangle now. I already know it's a right triangle because of these features, right? Now I can go to the next level of whatever it is I'm trying to prove, whatever it is I'm trying to do. Same thing with AI. You can take the same approach. Okay, if AI is giving you this article on this particular topic, how can you make it your special sauce and take it that much further so it's more innovative than what's already commonly known? Okay, I hope that that helps. Be sure to grab my workbook. It's at thescrumshop.com/AI. You can get that. And you can also get the procrastination one there too at thescrumshop.com/procrastination so that you could check that out as well since I mentioned it. I thought I thought that you would like that one as well. So make sure that you are being the CEO of your business, that you're managing change and being a leader in innovation and change, so that your business can adapt and stay with the times and stay current and not get left behind. You don't want to get left behind because AI is here to stay. All right. I hope that that helps you guys and I will see you in the comments. Okay.